Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktirabhavati Naishtaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
One more.
What you are doing? What happened just now? Albert, come sit here. No, come on, sit here. How is life?
Good.
Good. What is good?
Everything.
Everything is good. How is life? No?
Yeah. The production is like that. It's like it worked.
Oh, it worked. Okay.
Yeah.
She had prasad. She had prasad already.
It went very well.
Good. How is life? Albert? Srivasana Prabhu is here. You are here for some more month?
Next month.
Anka Prabhu, how is life?
Going on most probably.
How is Pooja?
She's recovered. She's back home today.
Mendra Prabhu, how is life? Good. Sweta, how is life? Good. Sri's life is ecstatic.
Ecstatic.
How is your life, Sita?
Good, bro.
Good?
Yeah. New things happen, new things come.
Okay. Yeah, after a
He's
month of
ecstatic probably.
yeah. I was hoping that there will be like 50 people today here.
Yeah, it was
But-
even I was thinking, but then I
Yeah,
realized because of
there is
yesterday.
spiritual fatigue. People get into fatigue. You can't really process Krishna too much. You can't have. People need a break from Krishna. Otherwise,
बहुत हो
it's
गया.
too much. So, the whole reason why it becomes fatigue is because our mind is really, for Krishna is a foreign object right now for mind. It's not really mind's own. We think Krishna and Krishna's topics are really foreign. And this is how I used to feel also when I started in Bhakti like 2004 until 2010 or so. Life was always having some other priorities, and I used to chant and living with devotees and having sort of a spiritual life, morning, evening. But priorities were not aligned. And anytime things would become too much, back-to-back programs, back-to-back engagements, mind would go, I can't take it anymore, this is done. Just to leave her for herself. You play with her, she'll start doing more noise. You Okay. Thank you.
ठीक है पंकज।
But we see from the Shastras that people like Ambarish, they were constantly engaged in bhakti, and happily engaged in bhakti constantly. And if we are honest to ourselves, we can think, we can't be happy like that. There are certain limits. It's exactly like small children's mind. They can't really sit for a long time at the same place. They need constant change in activities. Something or the other needs to be there, triggering their activity levels. So mind exactly operates like that. Otherwise, you become bored. So, think about your own life. What makes you excited? Constant change in things which has some anticipation.
चल हो गया। चल बस हो गया तेरा।
Parallel class. You agree? Like what makes you excited? Like boring cricket match. Who wants it? 50 overs, India needs to score 100 runs. 50 overs, India had to score 100 runs, but last over, India lost all wickets. Last over, 6 balls, 12 runs. Yeah. Exciting, isn't it? So until then you won't watch, but then suddenly it becomes exciting because something that is uncertain. And uncertainty somehow makes us excited. Yes or no? Yes? When things are uncertain, we become somehow, suddenly there is some sort of excitement. We look forward to it. We anticipate that things go in the way we hope. And when they don't go, we become sad. And with Krishna, of course there is a lot of variety and a lot of things, but at this point of time, it sort of seems constrained. It's not to the max. We don't experience that. We experience such a small drop of the ocean, and we think that's what it is. That's all it is. And all that which is there with Krishna is just kirtan, same mantra, same Bhagavad Gita, same Bhagavatam, Krishna Prasadam. And instant gratification is not there. It's absent. Sometimes if you are doing kirtans, maybe you will feel, wow, this is nice. Otherwise, that instant gratification is just absent. Isn't it? It's just not there. It's like a flower which is not very fragrant. Raw fragrance is not there, but it's mildly fragrant. And only when you are there with it for a long time, then you can sort of you start getting the fragrance out of it. Whatever works. Chalo, good. Like lotus, you have smelled lotus? It's very mild. If you just pass through, you won't even understand that there is fragrance there. But if you just spend some time, eventually it's very, very mild. If a lot of lotus flowers are together, then there's a little bit more. But then you have to spend some time with it. Otherwise, if you just pass through, you won't feel like there is fragrance here. So, bhakti sort of works like that. It is not really instantaneous gratification. You won't feel it. But then, on a whole, you will feel like, wow, the quality of life has been good. But then you have to spend time. If you don't spend time, also with the right people, the right way, there is just no way we can experience. And then small things here and there will then start feeling, I'm just doing too much. I wasted my life. Everything else is the higher priority in life. to make sure that my career is moving to the right direction, finances are moving to the right direction. All these things take higher priority and the highest priority usually. And there is no instant gratification in bhakti. So that sort of puts us in a very delicate situation that on one hand there's so much of pull, like an elephant is pulling, and on the other hand we're not as strong as we could be in bhakti. Prabhu, Prabhu. Come. So, many people. It's like Tom and Jerry too. So how do we fix? What should we do? You understood the dilemma? Yeah, it's real, right? Yeah. Isn't it? Because there is so much of seemingly happy world out there. Which we are missing out somehow, like really missing out. And this is a slow life. So how do we address this? Character acquisition.
It depends, Prabhu. If we like that kind of life, then only we will miss it.
Yeah.
If we don't like that kind of fast life, we won't miss it.
Okay.
We will try to absorb ourselves in this slow pace of life, actually. What
Yeah.
I feel like.
Okay. Good. Ranga, what do you feel?
I mean, the only place I've in recent times experienced true happiness is in devotional service at this point, because everything is so impermanent. You potentially are happy in professional life, in other social things, but things can change any second, any day. And attaching too many emotions to any of these things has only not been very intelligent.
Yeah.
And but on the other hand, if you are doing seva, if you are making prasadam for 100 devotees, if you are going to Bhakti Sangam, if you are doing some other, I find like this particular thing is growing, and there is no end to this true happiness. So
Yeah.
I think that's where I've reconciled my thoughts.
Okay. Good. Yes, another row.
Yeah, I would just want to add a point there. And even I feel the same, because anything can change anytime. But here, as soon as you are here in the devotional service, actually you don't remember anything, absolutely anything. You are only, surrounded with, or the environment is completely changed for you. At least, the time that you spend and the time after that, it is in your mind all the time. Unless there are some, drastic changes that's happening and some thoughts that come and go again. But this is like, it is less. Example is that I told you, I guess, last time. The chanting, it is like, you are not humming, but it is actually, running back of your mind. So, I mean, that way you are, going in the right direction, and you don't feel any sort of unhappiness, and you're not worried basically. So
Okay. Good. Thank you. Right there, other thing.
I mean, like it's a very fresh example to say. Like today at work, like it's a release which went. It's a 9 months work which we are doing. But today morning I was pretty sure. I mean, of course the release time, but I was very confident that it would go well because my focus has improved when I started devotional, because like before that it was like too many things taking in different directions, like it's all like confused, there was so much, so anxiety or what you can say. But now I feel the focus has improved, and I could do much better than what I was doing. So that is helping not only devotionally at my work or also other things also. So that I have noticed. It's a, as it happened today, it is very example.
Good. Thank you. Yes, happy.
Yeah, lot of effort. Here it doesn't feel, it feels very natural.
Okay, very good. Let's take another example, another situation. The other thing which usually happens after we start practicing bhakti is we feel other people will leave us. You lose your friends. Do you feel?
No, I feel pity about them.
You
when
feel
they- See,
lost people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
That's true,
I mean,
Prabhu.
We don't
Like,
feel nice.
okay.
So for some reasons, even if I have to attend some gatherings also, I would prefer to come to satsang than that.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
We actually give some excuses there.
Yeah.
Very good. This one another problem.
Yeah.
Also aligned.
That is the best thing I would say.
Yeah. Because in outside circles, usually people are just there to somehow or the other prove themselves, and that's what at least I feel like that. And I feel at home. I don't need to pretend anything. If I'm with devotees, I can just feel it. It's very natural. It's very good. So the next question then arises is, what is stopping you from actually fully immersing myself in Krishna? Right? So fully means 24/7, and doesn't mean that I need to stop my job. It just means that I'm actually trying to be Krishna conscious. So as we progress in bhakti, eventually that we'll start figuring out that this is quite possible if eventually like Saitya's job worked out very well today. Even if it doesn't work out well, you still process it in Krishna conscious way. Because it's very easy to be grateful when you are happy, when things go the way you want. But Krishna consciousness does not necessarily just always mean that, okay, you just came to bhakti and everything will be going the way you like, always. That great success in career, great health, great wealth. Sometimes it is, but eventually we will face reversals, and if you have practiced enough, we will even take those moments also in Krishna consciousness. So it's not really about what's going on externally, but what's going on internally in my heart. So that's the whole theme of 9th chapter. Krishna is, we are studying 9th chapter Gita in our sessions. Krishna somehow or the other is letting Arjuna know that Krishna consciousness is a matter of heart. It is not about external. It is not about how you be outside. People may think of you whatever. If you also think yourself to be what people think you to be, you have an absolute illusion. It's really not the right way of life. So at some point of time, we need to take a pause and understand, okay, that's not what I am. My only definition of life is I am Krishna's servant. That is the only definition. Everything else is an upadhi. It's just wrong designations. It's really not the right designation for me. The only designation is I am Krishna's servant, irrespective of time, place, circumstances. So things may be very good, things may not be very good. Situations may be very good, may not be very good. I may get a great success, may not get a great success. I may be an absolute failure. Doesn't matter. So somehow Arjuna has to arrive at this conclusion, and Krishna is using this chapter to give him this idea that it is not about outside at all. You need to be surrendered in your heart. And when you are surrendered in your heart, Mahatmanasya Mahapartha, Daivi Prakriti Manasya, you are taking ashraya of a higher, a divine energy all the time. So when we are sheltered at a higher energy all the time, then our behavior, our thought process, our thinking patterns, our response patterns, everything changes because you are not really operating in this plane of existence. You are here, but the consciousness is on a higher plane of existence. It's latched in there. it's like these trains which move around. They have something which they have connected themselves to, right? The power line is running. So because of that, they are moving so fast. Right? It's not with their own ability they are running. The energy is coming from somewhere else. They have just attached themselves there, and it's moving. So we should be able to operate like that at some point of time. That I'm here. I'll try my best. With my family, with my job, with everything around. But my happiness is not really based on outcomes of these. Because at times we might get carried away with the real understanding of Krishna consciousness that, oh, maybe everything will be a bed of rose eventually. It will not be. At some point of time it will become really hard. Everyone's life. Life is fair for everyone. Eventually there will be difficulties, there will be situations which we anticipate and something else will happen. So reversals are the name of the game here. And the whole idea then will be, how do I respond? And how do I respond when I get success? How do I respond when I get failure? How do I function in the midst of this society? What is that which I'm carrying in my heart? So that becomes the default state. I am Krishna conscious by default. My shelter is coming from Krishna by default. And at times I go and operate, I'll also go for shopping. Milk give better energy. So I will go for shopping. Okay, fine, no problem. You can go for shop and then get things, but you will not be like, oh, I want this also, that. You will start saying like, how can I use everything in Krishna's service? There's a difference between go shop for yourself, your enjoyment, and go shop for things, same sabzi and same. But then you will operate in a different realm. The same vegetable which you pick up, previously perhaps you would think, wow, bhendi, I really love it. Yeah, I don't know if you love. I don't love. Whatever vegetable. But then you will start thinking, I'll make nice preparations to Krishna with this, and then I'll serve devotees with this. I own my family, whatever. There's a change in consciousness. There's actual change. The way you look at anything will actually change one day. You will not be carried away too much with the idea of self gratification. How do I enjoy? I want to enjoy. And this is deep. That propensity is really deep, that I want to enjoy. And bhakti needs to really address the core of it. From I want to enjoy, I want to make Krishna happy. Right now, and somehow or the other, I have been put in this situation wherein I have chosen myself to be under the shelter of Mahamaya. And everything is facilitated in a way that yes, whatever I want is also provided. It is amazing, isn't it? Krishna would have just created something wherein we're all just suffering. Yeah? Just suffering. No. See, even a dog is not suffering. Especially in Netherlands, they're really not suffering. But even otherwise, they're not suffering. Yeah, it's a different, difficult life, but they're not suffering as such. Even in that life, they can try to extract happiness. Amazing, isn't it? Being a dog, but they can try to extract happiness in the dog life, in the cat life, in the ant life. Doesn't matter which life. In every life, the living entity is wanting to extract happiness, and there is actually provision to extract happiness. Amazing, isn't it? If you think about it, it's really amazing. There is provision. The Mahamaya provides provision that, yes, go ahead, no problem. Try to extract happiness. Then feel happiness, no problem. Krishna is not a pessimistic controller, just wants to throw everybody out and just make them suffer. No. It's such an amazing personality actually. And even those who are not wanting to serve him, still, he's created a facility where even they can try to enjoy and actually get some juice out of it. Yeah. See, if there is no juice at all, if there is no enjoyment at all, nobody would be drinking, being in the pub and yeah. There is something for sure. At least at that point of time, it is there. We can't deny it. If it is not there, nobody would do it. You agree? Yes, it is there for sure. Yeah. So it is there because even that also is an energy of Krishna. Daivi Heshu Gunamai Maya Duratyaya. It is Krishna's energy. So that energy is also being infused indirectly through Krishna. It's just that it is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. It's very temporary and eventually will lead to misery. Whoever is jumping up and down in the pub and drinking and next day they need to take, they're really in hangover. It's not really that, I was like so energetic in the pub and I'll become more energetic afterwards. You become so like pulled down that you need to take some analgesics afterwards to get back to normal work. And if they just overdo it, they just continue to puke and somehow they get home and then next day, okay, it's an experience. They did extract some happiness for that moment of 3-4 hours, whatever, 5-6 hours. But this was not a positive experience as such when you look from outside. If you are within, yes, there is some extraction possible, but then you see from outside, the end result is really suffering. Yeah. And eventually, you can't continue doing it. You hardly see like 90-year-old people jumping up and down and drinking. And why are they not doing it? Perhaps they were doing it when they were 20. Right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So why are they not doing when they are 90? You just can't do it anymore. Yeah.
Also, because of the suffering the bodies are giving up, the liver, the kidneys, if you're drinking too much, it has an impact. And
So
if the game is over.
had to do it one more time, it's not. so this should just give us, but thinking analytically about it, this should give us idea that there is a way to be happy with Mahamaya, taking shelter of Mahamaya. It's possible. You can. Temporary, short-lived, ending up in misery. Or there is another way of happiness, which is not instant gratification. Because instant gratification is having a problem. In instant gratification, you are the center. Right? That's the problem. You are the center. With Krishna, it's foreign object. Mind doesn't know how to make Krishna the center. That I need to go away from center and to put Krishna in the center. How to do it, mind doesn't know. So even when we experience kirtan and whatever jumping up and down, you're still doing it from me and center. Oh, it's really nice kirtan. What is really nice? Is a melody. Everybody else is. Of course, there is a magic which happens in kirtan, but I'm just trying to convey a message here that if we really connect with the Hare Krishna mantra, that should give us the real happiness inside. Right? The mantra should give us the happiness. Srimad Bhagavatam should give us the happiness. And even without anything, I'm happy. With no audience, I'm happy. Nobody, 100,000 people I'm singing with, I'm still happy. Right? I have the mantra, I'm happy. Because Krishna is there with the mantra. So that's where eventually I will need to go, that I'm recollecting Krishna's remembrance constantly. And then not in the way that I want to become peaceful with that. That's not the reason. I I want to serve Krishna, and my consciousness is always operating. How do I serve Krishna? And if we can reach there, then we are at the shelter of Yogamaya. So the lower nature, which is impossible for anyone to cross over with their own efforts. Mami prapadyante. If we surrender to Krishna, if we latch ourselves to the higher energy, Krishna will put us out. And that's how bhakti works. When we surrender to Krishna, Krishna will pull us out. So, and then you will feel that, oh, rest of the things are, let it go, it's okay. And it will anyway keep going. Market crashes, no problem. It's really, really great, no problem. Doesn't matter. Whatever is going on outside really doesn't matter. You will be able to live. Live a life. Not getting carried away with everything else. So, eventually Krishna concludes the chapter by saying, we'll of course come back to it next week, verse by verse. But the whole idea which Krishna is trying to say in this chapter is that we should be able to offer whatever we are doing to Him. Whatever we are doing. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Always, constantly you need to keep me in your heart. When we read this, like Krishna is saying, always think of me, offer your respects to me, worship me, constantly. What sort of God is this? Is he wanting so much of accolades and credits and respect all the time? But at this point of time, it is needed for us that we become conscious of our service to Krishna. And having deities is a great way to actually serve Krishna. Deities can be made of wood, of metal, painting, your mind also. It's secondary. The primary thing is we need to be able to serve. So, whether we have a picture of Krishna, the actual deities is really how we are reciprocating with that. Lord Krishna was just there. He was not going and doing elaborate deity worship every day. He just had Krishna in his heart. Serving Krishna in his heart all the time. We can also do it. It is just a matter of time before which we lose this ability. So we need to be really then always thinking, how do I maximize my investment? That's the goal always, right? You have a certain amount. Where do you put so that the maximum returns will come? So that time is now. I need to start putting myself in Krishna's service so that eventually I start feeling the next level of connectivity with Krishna. Right now the connection is a bit weak. It comes and goes. It's a bit weak connection. It's not really 5G or gigabit internet right now. It's still perhaps 1G. Right? You can only perhaps sometimes text message. So, but it's okay. From Krishna's side, it's there. He is fully on. So we are not on fully. So, but the whole purpose which Krishna is trying to address here is that it's actually possible. And you won't be frustrated being in connection with Krishna. You'll be happy being in Krishna. And that's the reason Srimad Bhagavatam gives extreme examples. We see the case of Bharata. He became a deer. The Bhava stage, he became a deer. We see Chitraketu Maharaj got cursed to become the worst of the demons. We see Parikshit got cursed to die 7 days. See, Arjuna just lost all his abilities. Extreme examples. And because this is quite possible. So what we learn is, it really doesn't matter. Any of these things doesn't matter. And Arjuna loses abilities, no problem. Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't really exhibit Krishna, Arjuna's extraordinary shooting ability. He's celebrated in Mahabharata if you read. Arjuna is a celebrated archer. Bhagavatam celebrates Arjuna's heart. Right? How he behaved when he lost everything. Which is more important. Because somebody is having extraordinary abilities, skills, how they respond, how they behave. It's very easy, again, as I said, when you get success, very easy to become Krishna conscious. Yeah. Like in Scientist case today. I'm so grateful. It's very easy. It really doesn't take anything. So success is there. But it's a bit difficult if it is not how we expect life to be. And that's what we need to prepare ourselves eventually, because it will happen one day. For sure it will happen. Doesn't matter who they are. Every person. And by then, if we can come to this understanding that, yeah, I just want to serve Krishna. Very naturally. It doesn't matter. If the whole world leaves me, it doesn't matter. I have Krishna, I'll serve Krishna. If you are in that mentality, life is success, because you have become Mahatma. Yeah. So, Mahatma, you're really a great soul, because you have taken shelter of Krishna's Daivi Prakriti. Mahatma Nastamam Prata Daivi Prakriti Mashu. The Ashraya is coming from higher source. It really doesn't matter how everybody else is thinking. Shukdev Goswami, when he was walking, people were throwing stones at him. You know this? They were literally throwing stones. They thought he's a madman. Children were making fun of him. They were just running behind him. Quite literally making just. Can you imagine this? This is the highest possible, sage in that whole assembly. Just 16 years old, maybe a little bit more after he had traveled quite a lot. But quite young, perhaps the youngest sage in the whole assembly. But when he walked in, until he was given the seat, he was being chased by people who were thinking he's a madman. No clothes also. He's not wearing clothes. Yeah. People thought he's a madman. Totally gone case. He was not reacting. He didn't even respond. He was just, because for him, he is happy in his heart. How he is serving Krishna in the heart. Yeah, it's a bit, again, extreme example. You cross a certain threshold, you will not really bother about anything which goes on lower nature. Really, you're and there's a meaning of transcendental. Transcending. When Srila Prabhupada used to tell that I want to go, I will go and I'll preach, people is running here. Babaji, 70 years old, you will die. How will you even go there? Just be here. We'll give you some nice roti and you can eat and do your bhajan here. People won't even believe that when he would. Even after going there, he would write to his god brothers, I have got some. Prabhupada is always looking forward for somebody who is somehow or the other coming and supporting him. Just keep writing to his god brothers, just come. At least let's do it together. And nobody took him seriously. Of course, it was also not something which was great, which was happening. Prabhupada was having high anticipation. Last time, I told the story of David, right? When Prabhupada found David, he wrote to his god brothers right away, I found some person. He's going to become my first disciple. The guy went crazy and wanted to kill Prabhupada afterwards. But Prabhupada, meanwhile, is like, because from his side, he's showing, I will make sure I'll spread this knowledge. Others in India, they were thinking, what happened? This guy is God and he will never return, perhaps one day he will die or whatever. Nobody sent anything to him to support. No one came also to support. Eventually Krishna sent support. So, that should give us this idea that Krishna consciousness is really not that of this plane of existence. You become Krishna conscious, you operate in a different plane of existence. Prabhupada would have been as happy as he would be even before starting Krishna consciousness. Big worldwide movement. Right? Because success in this world, no matter what you build, is temporary. What's really valuable is the Krishna inside. Whoever has Krishna inside, they're happy in their service. So, and then Krishna basically finds this kind of people who are in that category, and then just pick them. Okay, let's do something with you now, because you are already in the right mood, robust. That's the meaning of nimitta. So this is 11th chapter. We'll come to that later. Krishna says, Arjuna, nimitta matram bhava sachi. You may be Sabyasachi, you can shoot from whichever angle, whichever directions, both hands, but you become my nimitta. And nimitta means you are basically there, you are acting on someone else's behalf totally. You are just there on behalf. Huh? Yeah, you're just there. It's not yours. Whatever is happening is not because of you. Just nimitta. So that's what I want to share. Any thoughts? No. Ji.
After Puja, are you able to experience that and you think we are
I am.
so far?
I keep telling. I'm in 4th standard. I somehow come and teach. I'm from a village. My upbringing was in village schools. First standard kids used to sit with 5th standard kid. Right? Second standard was sitting with 6th standard. Third standard was sitting with 7th standard. This is how it was. Like one classroom, 2 standards. And sometimes teachers are busy. They would tell 5th standard kid, you teach the 1st standard kid. Or 2nd standard kid. Right? So they know a little bit more than what they. Right? So that's what I am. I'm not a big Paramahamsa sitting here giving classes. I just want to share this. And as I speak, I also try to remember and just want to apply it in my own life. But what has happened for sure is I was not like this before. That's for sure. Right? I would go crazy if somebody would come and tell that Nilamar, go and give class every day. 5 programs a day, maybe 6 programs a day. My mind would just devour me totally. I was not like this, that I can tell. I would go like, okay, 1, good. Once in a while, great. I also like this. But all the time, sorry, not for me. You know what, I don't know if I had told you this. I think I had told. That one of my friends eventually gave me such a high dose. My name is Nagaraj, right? Official name. So this is before my initiation. So he told me that now you think you're so busy because you need to prepare for your interviews. And tomorrow you'll get a job. You will tell that you're so busy because you have job. And he's just on and on and on. He's just telling me. Then you will eventually get married and you will tell that you are so busy because you are married, and eventually you get a kid and you will tell that you are a kid, and then you're busy. So he asked me like, when will you serve Krishna? And like a thunderbolt of my brain, like, oh my God, what is this person has gone crazy or something? I want to prepare for your interviews. This is all I said. And he's just preaching me so heavily. And I was so frustrated that day. Like, this person just doesn't understand. And so, but then eventually I understand that there is a difference between being a superficial Krishna conscious person and actually at least trying to go inside. Right? So that's what I'm doing now, at least trying to go inside. So previously I was just like the ant which is circling around the honey jar and just there, thinking, oh, I'm with honey. But he's not really with the honey. There is no access to honey. But it just keeps thinking, I'm with the honey. Keeps thinking and keeps revolving around the jar. It will never get the access, like never. But at least I'm now understanding that yes, I need to go inside. I'm outside. I need to go inside to get the honey. So at least I understand that I'm putting some efforts.
Maybe we are at that stage maybe.
You are much better than what I am. You are much simple. My brain is really complicated. I fought with the person who is coming to teach us Gita for 1 year. The only good thing I did in my life was that I was going. That was the only good. Otherwise, whole class I would be just fighting. He would quote something from Bhagavatam and Gita, and I would tell 100 other things from everywhere else. So, yeah, somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is so wonderful that if someone is, even if someone is crazy like me, even that person was conquered by love. Right? So I was just carried away with the love. I was just, the person who was coming to teach, his name is Vyasacharya Prabhu. That time he was Vishal Kaushal. I was just good friends with him from day one. Just nice friends. And yeah, that's the reason I was going. That I don't want to make him sad. I started chanting because at some point of time there were like 60 people in the class. He used to come to our college and do Gita. There were 60 people in the class. And at the end of giving full on theory about Hare Krishna mantra, he asked how many will chant from tomorrow. Everybody raised their hand. I was the only person who was like, I won't chant. I'm already doing enough. Like 2 times I was doing Sandhya and everything on my own japa, and I used to go with Basma also to college. So I think I have enough spiritual, I don't want to chant. And he started giving, why this Hare Krishna mantra is so beautiful and this Maha mantra and Yuga Dharma. I'm like, I'm not budging. You keep telling, I'll keep quoting also my side. So at the end he literally folded his hands. He literally did like this. And I felt like, my God, like what am I? Why am I so egoistic? And I'm making somebody who is so senior to me and elder to me, and I'm making him to fold his hands in front of me. So I said, no problem, I'll chant, okay, no problem, I'll do it. And yeah, that's how I started. So you're all like much better than how crazy I was. I was like totally lost. I would have been a lost idiot otherwise. Still lost, but at least I understand now that I am a lost idiot. So that's the only good thing. So yeah. Anyway, good. Any other things? Shivasana program, share anything?
When you were mentioning about how difficult it will be, so I was listening to one devotee was mentioning, many times we mention, right, how we came to Krishna consciousness. Like we are very excited, I was struggling in our studies, I was struggling in office, everything became so nice. Krishna gives that impetus us to continue. But the main difficult part is how we maintain ourselves in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
So he was mentioning more than how we came to Krishna consciousness, the experience that we maintain ourselves. So I think for that the most important part that you mentioned for 1 year into the program. So for all of us here coming to the regularly to the program, I think that's the only thing we can do. Come to the program, be in the association, and yeah, that's the way that we can be connected.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Vikas, bro, want to share anything?
Just listen.
Yeah. Mataji, what's your name?
Puja.
You have come before?
No, this is the
First
first
time? Thank you for coming. Whom do you know here? No one?
I go to the that Sakap.
Sangam.
This month,
Good.
yeah.
Thank you.
And last time we had
Damodar Ashtakam.
Damodar
Okay.
Ashtakam.
Very good. Very
So-
nice. Good. Thank you. Thanks for coming. At least one person is there. Good. Great success.
He also.
Oh, Vikas Prabhu is here with
No,
us.
but
since-
here, first time.
Yeah, but he is with us since last 3 years now, almost more or less. Yeah. Good. You share anything, Pooja?
Not share, Prabhu. I always hear from you that when we should do something to make Krishna happy. But from past 2 years, I'm like engaging in some of the seva activities. But I always feel that these activities makes me happy. How do I come to know that Krishna is happy? What are those activities? Like I
So,
know.
first thing is bhakti happens under the guidance of under whom you are serving. So, fortunately, unfortunately, in your case, it's me now. So, if you are in the right track, Krishna tells in Gita 12th chapter, if you are really doing the things which how it's supposed to be done and the way it's supposed to be done, there is a whole list of behavioral personality attributes which will come in your life. Right? So there's a whole list of verses. 12th chapter, verse 13 onwards. Adveshtah sarvabhutanam maitrah karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankarah samadukha pakshami santushtah sadgam yogi yatatma ladanischayah mayarpita mano buddhi yomad bhaktasmai priyah yasmano dujate loko lokano dujate chayah harsha amarsha bhaya udvaigaihi mukto yasjani priyah. There's a full list, 6-7 verses. Krishna just continuously tells who is priya for him. So if you're really trying to serve Krishna, Krishna becomes happy and he becomes priya for us. And these personality traits will start appearing in your hearts. This is sloka which we recited a few weeks ago now here in this program. I don't know if you were there that week. That as you start practicing Krishna consciousness, eventually the divine qualities will start manifesting in you. And otherwise, what's the good use of any life? There is just no use of any life. It's just for the show. So if you are really serving Krishna and Krishna is happy, this is what happens. The behavioral subhava changes. How we are, that changes internally and just shows up outside. So Adveshta is, you just don't hate anybody. Sarva Bhutana Maitraha. You actually feel that every living entity is your friend. If you see an ant, you feel like, oh, he is my friend. You don't feel like that right now, right? Nature, right? You don't feel like, I hope my friend is there. The most difficult is Yasman no Vijite Loko Lokano Vijite. You will never ever get agitated by anything and you are not causing agitation to anyone else. I get so agitated yesterday, you saw in the class, people were making noise, I went crazy. I'm trying to speak something really, really serious and just not understanding. I heard that there are people inside, they were making demands. That I want this. Don't pack otherwise. Just, I want all these things. So Achal was really put on the edge there. So I'm getting really agitated and people are going to her and telling, give me everything. I don't want to go without all this prasadam. They really wanted all the prasadam. But they are going in the mid of the program. So there's so much of noise happening. I really got agitated. So I'm not there yet. But I'm improving. Yeah, so
Just to that, I wanted to add something. I've seen my mother, she's 75, and I've been associated with ISKCON and spirituality for a number of years, and I took her with me. And she's a high ranking IFS officer all her life, so she's used to telling people what to do. Always agitated, always taking paracetamol and pills and just going through the day and day and day. The last 5 years, what she said, like, she's become a person who's always smiling, always laughing, whether it's a gardener or a coolie or an ex-IFS officer. Otherwise, she was always in this agitated mode. Yeah. But what Prabhuji just said, it's a reminder to her, including myself, like, it only takes this element, right? And I'll give you an example, like a friend of mine who's much more into spirituality and he's given up everything. And he does lectures and he does this. And this is what he does as a living. And his father is another high-ranking officer. And every time he comes back home, and his father says, Ramdas, do you have a job? And he's like, I go like, and then I realize I'm not there yet. Because that one sentence from his dad, do you have a job, hits him so hard that he does this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 360, and he has like millions of followers on YouTube. And just one sentence puts him exactly back at the place, yeah. And my mother does exactly the same. Like when somebody is like disrespecting her in the sense, she says, "Aise karna hai," and they find their own way. And then it's a reminder to her, like, oh, I'm not there yet, you know, because it hurts her ego. Why are they not doing it? And so I think like what you said, when you come here and you serve people, and somebody says, "Ye nahi karo, wo nahi karo, aisa nahi karo," and then you go, whatever. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and then you calm yourself down. So it's a journey, and we're all enjoying it as we go through this journey. But it's absolutely right. Like, doesn't matter how, unless one small thing, and then it puts you right back at the place. Like, hey, you're still that human being who's suffering, so to speak. Sorry, I took a.
So that's what is going to happen. So you can first of all study the verses, get to know what it is. So information is really needed. Become aware, and then keep a good check mark on yourself. So until it happens, we are not there yet. So that's okay. So we keep striving, but that doesn't mean that I don't get any experience at all. So Krishna does give. If anybody, doesn't matter who it is, if somebody sincerely serves Krishna, there is reciprocation from Krishna. So you will feel internally in a much better shape than how you would be otherwise. So that's something which will happen for sure. It's not that only when you make the full 100%, that's when you get some experience. No, you can experience now also. So, and the real complete 100% is when you are 100% Krishna conscious. So now we are, let's say, 20% Krishna consciousness, you get 21% reciprocation. Krishna always do more. So, and that's something which is very, very much in the heart. And the biggest of that, in terms of practical things, otherwise you may become sentimental and emotional about it. So first thing, you will get a lot of service. Second, you get association with devotees. If Krishna is happy with you, these two things will happen for sure. You get more service, you get association with devotees. The best thing which Krishna can give. Nothing can beat this. Not in the entire creation, nowhere. And service to Krishna, association of devotees. If you are getting that, you should know, okay, it's something good. Yeah. Good. Yes, Ren.
I wanted to share, like, for someone who likes to enjoy things, the definition of sensory enjoyment has very drastically changed for me over the last many months and close to a year. For example, when we smelled Kadamba, like last time we introduced Kadamba fragrance, I love fragrances, but jolly well I have never smelled something out of the world, mind-blowing like that. That is like the best experience ever. Like I was in that frame for 6 hours after smelling that Kadamba. Prashada, of course, we like to eat delicious things, but I don't have to go anywhere. Like all culinary imagination with devotees is happening. We have Bhakti Sangam, we have so much, so much creativity and love. I like to go outdoors for enjoying nature. I like to walk, run a lot, 20 kilometers. Walking with Bhakti Marga Swami for the whole day, 21 kilometers from Amstelveen, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. Not just that, just seeing Swamiji do that for like at my age, doing that at 21 kilometers, but he does it like 7 days together, and he's doing it in 10 plus countries. So the things that we do normally, they are in a very transcendental way exemplified in a certain form of a taste that is irreplaceable. This kind of a taste is not like what we had before.
Yes.
And the taste is addictive and in a very nice way, I would not say the way addictive. It feels like once you had prasadam, so I used to have prasadam previously also. I come from a Vaishnava family, I used to have prasadam, but again working outside, we used to have different things. But last 4 months we are offering only prasadam, and now we are having prasadam. We really don't feel like eating outside. Any other things, sometimes rarely we have. We're trying to stop full tea also right now, but once you have the taste of, once you taste nectar, it is very stupid and difficult to go back to old ways.
Yes.
So that kind of a thing is basically happening, and not to mention association of devotees. Of course, we have received at least 30 plus when my wife was under care. At least 30 devotees have called. Each one is has offered as a sister, as a brother to come and help us in every possible. We have to say no, but we have never found such kind of. So everything existed. We had great colleagues, we had good friends, we were doing things, but only difference that when you put Krishna into the center of the activities, the nature of the joy and the nature of the relationships has transformed into something very transcendental and meaningful at this point. That's the only thing I want to say. And I can say from very pure experience, and of course if you are in 4th standard, I'm in LKG. So I say I'm somewhere there, but I want to just say, and please do bring Kadamba fragrance once.
I will get one for you next time. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
By the way, the word addictive is used by Acharyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Tua Uddipaka Hamara Parana Radha Kunda. There is a bhajan. Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutir Govardhana Parvata Yamuna Tira Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutir. Last line, he tells,
ये सब छोड़ दो
हाँ ये सब छोड़ तो कहीं नहीं जाओ, ये सब छोड़ तो प्राण हराओ, भक्ति विनोद को है सुनो खाना, तुआ उद्दीपका हमारा प्राण है. You are addicted, you are in my life, हमारा प्राण, तुआ उद्दीपका, really addicted Krishna. So that's good. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you.
We are starting Prasad. If you have question answer, you can discuss during Prasad.
There is a small something the Mataji's are prepared. Even here.